Hello. Welcome to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I just realized that the acronym, is that the right word, for Heretic Owl is HO, and HO is one of my favorite words. So welcome, hoes. Become a hoe, subscribe to the channel. I figured since this was just kind of my first set of videos that I would just make a quick intro to put at the beginning of each of these videos. And please forgive my dog if you can hear him chewing on a bone. He is not a fan of when I talk to anybody except for him. So when I do, he has to be loud. But he's perfect. I love him. He could do no wrong. So, my intention here, I just want to kind of, like I said, set a little bit of expectation. My intention here is to talk about you. In the words of RuPaul, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you supposed to love somebody else? Can I get an amen? So it all starts with us, right? And my intention is to kind of help you maybe get through some blocks, maybe see some things differently, get you to where you want to go, you know, maybe a little bit of advice along the way. And for me and my journey to self-love and authenticity, you are helping me heal my voice, obviously by using it. This is the most terrifying thing for me. But at the same time, it's like all that I can think about is kind of starting this channel and connecting with you guys and, you know, like connecting my voice to the collective as well. So thank you again for being here. Please, you know, leave comments. I would love to read them. Also, last thing before we get into the reading, I do kind of try my best to explain the cards a little bit. So use your own discernment and your own intuition to interpret the cards as well, because I might be saying the cards mean a certain thing and the story is connecting in a certain way for me, and you could see it as connecting for you in a different way. And go with that. That is definitely real. We all have our own intuition. If you are watching tarot videos, you may have a knowledge in tarot anyway, or at least a basic knowledge in it. So if there's a message there for you that I'm not saying, it is a message for you. So accept it, you know, even if it's coming from yourself. That is even better. So again, thank you so much for being here. And if you like the content, I would appreciate if you subscribed and shared. And let's get into the videos. All right, Aries, welcome. Let's talk about January 2022. This is basically going to be a 5-card spread. The middle card is your current. The left card is what's blocking you. Underneath that is how do we clear that block? And then, oh, 4 cards. Who can count? What's next? Like, where's that taking you? What's after the block? Sometimes we put a card up here. Okay. But if we need to clarify, we will try to kind of stick right to the point. So anyway, all right, so we only do uprights unless for some reason when the card falls out, it does a triple flip or triple toe loop or whatever on the way down and ends up in the reverse. We only take cards that actually fall out as well. If they flip in the deck, we don't take those. We want it to be very clear. What is the message? We want the card to fall out. We take one card at a time. Again, we'll take maybe 2. We won't take more than 2. If there's more than 2 that fall out, we'll put them back in. Okay. Okay. Dang. Aries coming in. Huh, like this is, to me, so this is the High Priestess. Okay. We have the High Priestess coming out for what your current energy is. So feeling empowered, feeling connected to yourself. Yes. She's standing on top of the moon there. You can see, like, you know, you might be balancing some things. That reminds me of like one of those, it's like a board that they put on top of a cylinder thing to help you balance. I love this for you though. This is like the perfect way to start a year. And it's a number 2. And we're going in, you know, like 2022, you know? Aries feeling good. Scared of you. That's great. Let's see what's blocking you. What's blocking Aries? What is the block for Aries? What is the block for Aries? Eight of Wands. Okay. There might be a little too much coming in for you. You might be a little worried about it. I like how, like, you can tell how the wands are heading. It's like they're... I'm getting that image in my head of, you know, like those, I guess like maybe that movie 300 where they all release the arrows at one time and it's this like barrage of arrows. So you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. There might be too much stuff coming in, too much good, whatever it is. And it might be coming from all sides too. I mean, this cat even has a wand. Eight of Wands has to do with like communication, action. It's obviously like quick movement. So you might be, and since it's in the blocking, like what's blocking you position, you might be worried that it might be just too much on your plate. You may not know how to finagle that. I'm getting this feeling that like it could be making you kind of freeze, you know, like you may not know what to do, so you're just not going to do anything, you know? So let's see, how do we clear this block? How does Aries clear this block? How does Aries clear the block? How does Aries clear the block? Yep, too many. How does Aries clear the block? Remember, we need the card to fall out. Make it clear. How does Aries... Lots of jumpers. How does Aries clear the block? Ooh, did you see that? Okay. We have the Hermit. The Hermit usually talks about like going within. So this could be talking about, let me just make sure that we can see everything in here. It could be saying to kind of make sure what you want, like really, you know, kind of go within and see which one of these options you want to take, or if you have the energy, if you have the time, if you have the funds, if you have, you know, like all of those things. We have the Ten of Cups at the bottom too, but I did shuffle it. I think we had, I think the Hanged Man was at the bottom before I shuffled it again. But either way, I just keep getting this message, and I think what I'm trying to do is like trying to think my way past it, which is the worst thing we could try to do, is actually think our way out of something. But that's just my opinion. But I keep getting this feeling of like, again, you know, just having to really kind of like get your priorities straight. It's like, you know, you feel very much in your power, right? Like the High Priestess. And the High Priestess talks about, you know, like intuition and, so it's like you have this idea of like where you want to go, what you want to do, and the options are there. Or maybe you're worried that the options aren't there, since again that this is in the blocked position. And the Hermit being the thing that will clear the block is kind of like really kind of going into yourself and following your own path. Usually, like in the standard tarot, this light that's in here is a Star card, which is, you know, kind of hope and promise, healing. But the feeling that I'm getting from this, and especially we're going from the 8 to the 9 also, which is a progression. So this to me just feels like it's really your choice. Like, it's really your choice to kind of decide which one of these options you want to take, whether it's one or all of them. And kind of forging your own path forward. Like, how do you want your life to look? How do you want this year to go for you? And for some reason, I can't tell you, I mean, I've had these cards for over a year. Now this is the Shadowland Tarot. And for some reason, like the more that I look at this card, just this watercolor that's around all of these brooms, is like so bright to me. So it's like there's this like this either protection around them, or these are kind of divinely guided opportunities. Like these are specifically for you. And it's almost like they're there for you to get clarity on what you want your life to look like. Like, you know, coming out of this hermit mode of maybe you've spent a lot of time internal. Maybe you've spent a lot of time thinking about these blocks. Maybe you spent a lot of time healing a lot of childhood stuff or relationship stuff or whatever these wands could represent. Any type of actions, any type of heartbreak, I mean, anything, you know, like, so it could also be saying that, you know, the way to, it's like the only way out is in. So with these being the blocks, I could be saying also for somebody else that you need to sit with those things and kind of work through them, whether that's by yourself, whether that's with a therapist, whatever, you know, however, which way. I'm a big proponent of having help to work through blocks, because no matter how hard we try, our ego will do its absolute best to keep us in homeostasis, to keep us where we are, to keep us in our comfort level. And sometimes it takes somebody else to just say, you know what, like, you're doing this, and that's, you know, like self-sabotage, whatever it is, to help you work through it. It could just be with the Hermit, again, you know, like that's very singular and very, you know, like kind of individual, going within, finding your path, you know. I'm just going to say whatever comes to my mind, like as it comes, because I know that there's, you know, I mean, there's multiple stories that could be said here. So the outcome, where we're heading, is the Two of Swords, Seven of Cups. This combo together is like literally the, like, to me, the literal interpretation is not seeing the options in front of you. So we're going to work through this because, oh, dang. Here, we'll put this at the top. Maybe we'll do that. Oh, you can't even see that, huh? We'll put this over here then. So where you're headed, Two of Swords, Seven of Cups. The swords talk about our thoughts. Cups talk about our emotions. The Two of Swords is usually depicted, and it is in this one too. They're blindfolded, arms are crossed over the chest. So it talks about indecision. It talks about not seeing a path forward. It also kind of talks about not wanting to see the path forward. The Seven of Cups, you can see kind of on the card that there's all of these options kind of up in the air. So the Seven of Cups kind of talks about daydreaming. It also just talks about there being options available, but that can also be overwhelming. You know, and I know I was kind of talking about that with the Eight of Wands. This to me, like seeing all of these cards laid out now, this to me feels like you have gone through and this may be just for a few, I don't know, I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna say whatever storyline, like whatever comes to mind. And if it fits, great. If it doesn't, you know, take what resonates, leave the rest, of course. But this to me, but having everything laid out, again, this to me feels like, and either in the last year, in the last 2 years, whatever it is, you've gone through like this transformation that has really kind of brought you into yourself. Like this High Priestess to me, every time I look at her, I get this bad bitch energy. Standing in your truth, standing in your power. In the blocked position with it being the Eight of Wands. Again, you know, like I said, it could be, maybe you don't feel like the opportunities are coming in. Maybe you feel that there are too many opportunities coming in. Maybe you're worried about the opportunities being like there's too many of them. I hope you can see all these cards. The Hermit being, you know, like what is going to help you through the block, or how do you get past the block with it being the Hermit? It's you, it's within you. You are going to be the thing that unblocks you. But I get in relation to these two, it's either sorting through what all of these blocks are, or it's picking and choosing, or it's taking all of them. And again, you know, like just figuring out how that fits into your life and how you want your life to look going forward. Maybe it's not the traditional path, you know? And then with the Two of Swords and the Seven of Cups being what's next, like what are we, how does this, once you clear the blocks, what's after that? Maybe you're not a fan of what your options are after that. Maybe what it is maybe what it is the indecision is gone. These two cards did come out together. So, okay, let me just, if you haven't seen it yet, let me just point this out here really quick. We have 2 2s, so we're going into 2022, right? Hello, that's amazing. And then we go from 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Like, that is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm sorry, but that's cool. So regardless of what you think is happening, regardless of how you feel things are going, there is a progression here in 2022. Regardless, like if this is just January, if this is a whole year, whatever it is, there is a progression happening. So even if you feel like, again, nothing's happening, or you feel like you're going backwards, there's literally no such thing as going backwards. We can't. It is literally physically impossible to go backwards. So don't even worry about that. Ten of Wands talks about, I mean, like that is kind of the tens are completions. So it's the catalyst, the culmination of everything. And since we have the Eight of Wands here and the Ten of Wands talks about, you know what? I'm kind of done with the burden. He's got all these logs on his back and he's like, you know what? I'm out. I'm taking these logs and I'm out of here. There's, you know, like the apple at the top there. So this could be, based on like information and knowledge or education is kind of what's coming to mind. Like the information that you have is enough for you to move forward. And the Ten of Cups talks about, I mean, it's like the ultimate happiness card, but it's like shared with others. So you know, like if you're in a relationship, if you have kids, if, you know, your family, friends, whatever, you're happy. This could also just be like you're happy doing something that you love to do. It looks like he's got a paintbrush in his hand. He could be an artist. That would make sense since there's paint cans here, but it could just be like you're loving what you're doing. So this to me is maybe just sitting in a little indecision about your options. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I honestly, I'm not really one of those people that believes in good and bad things anyway. I do when it comes to me, but when I'm talking to other people, I can be very victim-y when I'm talking about myself, but when it comes to other people, sometimes you have to sit in it and you have to, you know, like take into account what all of these options are. Which way do you want to go? And pick up and move. And you'll be happy doing so. Like the Ten of Cups underneath that. That could be, you know, a physical move, whatever. And interestingly enough, I do, like the last thing that I want to point out here is that there's no pentacles here. So this is mainly, we have Wands talking about communication and action. Swords is your thoughts. So again, you know, with the Two of Swords here, you could be just kind of lost in your own, that this could just be over analyzing your options. The Cups talk about emotions. And then we have two major arcana right in the middle. High Priestess and the Hermit. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. It's been 25 minutes already. I think we'll leave it there. I hope this helped. I think that this is a good start to January. I think January is always a good month to reevaluate. It's always the longest damn month of my life too. I don't know how you feel about January. It always feels like the longest month ever. But it is a good month to, like I said, just reevaluate. Get clear on where you're going. And if you still don't know by the end of the month, that's okay. Good thing is there's options here for you to consider. And we'll be back to talk about February. Again, thank you so much for being here. And again, leave your comments. Let me know how this resonated or not. All right. Bye.